And today we're having Stef Zamorano on. Stef Zamorano. Believe that is the correct way to say her last name. Um, and I couldn't be happier and more excited. In fact, I've been sitting here going through the whole butterflies, thing, and nervous. She just texted and she said she's going to be a few minutes, and I told her, perfect. Take your time. I'm gonna kick my shoes off. I need to do a bong rip with y'all. Who's gonna drop that first digit? Who's dropping the first digit on the Stef Zamorano interview, I wonder? I could really use that bong rip to start because I am a little, what would be the right word? What's the word I'm looking for here? Unstable, nervous. That would be a good word. Nervous. I'm just a little bit nervous. Um, that is what I love about my podcast. I watch so many interviews and podcasts, and I don't think I've ever seen one where someone actually comes on before and says, "No, I'm so nervous." You get the real deal over here, man. Let's do a splish of kafefi. What do you say? We start off with a nice splish of kafefi. For the convo. Remember, if you guys have any questions for Stef, now would be the time to start putting them in the chat. I already see some digits have dropped, and I am so excited. That means that people have shared this on social media for me, and that is the best way to get the word out about the show being on. Okay. To put all of our butter. She could pop in. I wouldn't see right now. I've got some of my research papers up. Actually, I have her chat up on Twitter. It's blocking. If she pops in the chat, there we go. I won't see her. Hey, everybody, just calm down. Everybody, just settle down, man. Look at you. You're unsettled. You gotta settle it down, pal. Look at you. You're a wreck. You're a freaking mess, yo. Shut up, yo. You're no good. Shut up, yo. Look at you. You're very nice. You're very nice, yo. What is this? What have you done here? What have you done to yourself, pal? Nobody's even trying to do that anymore. What, you cut yourself with a sesame seed? Nobody even cuts themselves anymore with sesame seeds, pal. What are you doing? This is your big day. You're cutting yourself open with sesame seeds? Nobody's even trying to do that anymore, pal. It's unreal. Coffee's almost ready. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Driving a truck. Okay, drive your truck safely, okay? No texting. And remember, nobody cuts themselves with sesame seeds anymore, pal. It's unreal. What are you doing? What was that, a razor sharp sesame seed? My skin must be getting thinner. Oh boy, I cannot wait for that bong rip because boy oh boy am I nervous. I don't think I asked Stef how she deals with that when she, the other day I saw her she started reading comments from people and she looked at the chat number and there were 10,000 people in her live chat. Literally over 10,000 people. And she said, when I say that, it sounds like I'm just picking a number to be exaggeratory, but she really had over 10,000 people. And she said, okay, 10,000 people, let's get started on these super chats. And I'm thinking to myself, how does she retain that composure knowing that there are 10,000 people listening to her every word? And, that's one of the things I'd love to ask her today. Yeah, we got some coffee, we got some whipped cream, put all of your butter. Can't say whipped cream without put all over your latte after it. And you know what else I did? I I took off my hoodie, and I'm supposed to have it. And, boy, oh boy, here it is. Oh, it was closer than I thought. Of course, you guys know about the triage oil. We got to put that up there. There's the triage oil, triageoil.com. Of course. Check that website out. It's naysgarden.com, actually. They all lead you to the same place. They're all yellow brick roads of sorts. So I went out to the Roxer, and I got like this back wall. They call it a bulkhead. It's just the back wall to your cabin. It's a soft thing, and I took some screws and some boards, and I screwed it down and made it tight and nice. It's really cool, man. It's gonna keep the cabin even warmer. Less wind, less noise flapping around, all kinds of stuff. And I took some pictures of it, because I'm crazy like that. Anyhow, the first digit drop on the Stef Zamorano interview. Let's see who it was. It was Katie was in here saying hi. Okay, that was earlier. Katie Mary. Okay, Nick Brown. Chris Meadows. It's the first digit drop. Thank you, Chris. Cheers, guys. I really am looking forward to this this bong hit before the interview. I think it's going to help me calm down a lot. Well, that was virtually a cash bowl. I don't know what a 5 is for, Scott. Oh, right on, Jasper. Oh, boy. So, let me get, you guys to just take a moment and retweet this on Twitter. If anything, just tweet this out to as many people as you can. And, tweet the YouTube link out, see Trendy As Dabbers live. It's /C/Trendy As Dabbers /live. YouTube.com / the letter C /Trendy As Dabbers /live. It's not Trendy Ass, it's Trendy As, A-S, not 2 S's. A lot of people make that mistake. And a lot of people think there's only one B in Dabbers, but there's 2. Whipped cream, put all of your butter. Oh, Scott, you're dropping digits, son. I gotcha. We've got some other people ahead of you, and we're going to take care of it for sure. I'm going to load up some Jack Hare. Let's see who our next digit drop was from. We had Chris Meadows and then Nick Brown. Thank you, Nick Brown, for the next digit drop, meaning that he shared this in. And you guys, I repeat this so that new people know. I don't mean to drive it into your heads over and over again. But when someone new comes in and they're like, what's all with the digits? Why are people putting 3s and 7s? 3 means you've shared it on 2 social media platforms. The 7 means that you retweeted it on Twitter to so many people that you ran out of characters on your tweets. So that's the difference between the 3s and the 7s. You guys, thank you. Nick, cheers. And you know what I could do? Well, you guys are sharing this, so I'm going to just keep this open. We're just going to use this one. I was going to say I could restart the video, but you guys are sharing it, so it's better off that we just stick with this one. We got hot coffee. We got Stef here any second. You guys, we will have the chat up, so feel free to. There she is. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back with you. Okay, hello everybody. Give me a second. I'm just going to pull up just the window here. Oh, that's not good. Why is that popping up? That's weird. Okay, hold on. I don't want you to see the questions before I ask them. Okay, hold on.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't see anything.
No, I popped it up on the other screen. There were a couple of my questions, my little cheat sheet and whatever.
I can't see anything. Just you, Ben. Just
Okay.
you.
I'm all you need to see. I'm all you need to see right now. So don't you even worry about it. Let me get rid of the correct one here. Okay, this one is the one that has to go. All right, there we go. Hey, everybody. This is Stef Zamorano. She's back, and I'm so excited to have her back. I hope you guys can hear and see everything okay. And Stef, hopefully you can hear me and see me okay, so we can have a nice conversation. Okay, great.
I can hear you. A-okay.
Okay, well, how's Brownie doing? Brownie is your little tiny dog.
Oh, you know, he was really being, I was so worried about him. You know, who hasn't had a pet that's died, you know? And like, as you get older, as they get older, you're like, oh. And so he was really not doing all that well last week. He was kind of cranky and he wasn't eating that much and he didn't want to walk. And then gave him a couple, like, you know, days to, you know, whatever he had, and he's great. He's
Oh,
bouncing around, chasing the
oh,
ball. He's
oh,
great.
good.
I had to take him to the doctors yesterday. He's good. He might have some sort of skin condition. He's losing a little hair here and there. And I'm like, whatever, as long as he's okay. Is he okay? His teeth are great. We don't know how old he is at all when we got him. I think we got him about 4 or 5 years ago. They told us he was 4 or 8 years old. And so we think he's older than that.
Right.
But he's such a precious guy.
We love him. I love
He's
seeing
so
him.
sweet.
I miss him when he's not there with you. And then you'll say something. Oh, you'll be like, "Oh, you want to go outside?" I'll be like, "There's Brownie. Brownie's right there. We just can't see him." He's a little star.
Well, uh, I just think pets are like, are like little angels. And, when I walk Brownie around our neighborhood, there are little kitties that will come out and greet us that we see all the time.
Aw.
And there's this one kitty, I forget what the kitty's name is, but it only has 3 legs. And it's
Aw.
so fantastic. It's so adept at everything, and just the way it jumps around. And so, like, the cats all always come over and say hi to Brownie. And there are like 2 cats that come in and out of our backyard. We'll wake up in the morning and they're outside on some of our patio furniture. It's like a little, it's nature. Our backyard has like all this nature. We have trees, right? But we will find, like, Jimmy was sitting outside one day and out of a bush, morning, out came a skunk. And we have skunks that live there. We have our raccoons. Of course, we have tons of squirrels. But it's, and we saw the other night a possum, a
nice.
big possum in the backyard.
It's reminding me of that song,
Skunks
"Looking
everywhere.
Out My Back Door." You're talking about all the creatures out on the lawn. Look at all the happy creatures dancing on the lawn. And you know what? It's your vibe. It's you and Jimmy's vibe. It's when you go outside, the animals feel that and they feel safe there, and you bring them in, and that's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. I love that the animals are seeking you out.
The squirrels are fantastic in our backyard. They will just jump down a tree and they'll come down a branch, and I'm like sitting right there, and the squirrel's just like this. And then they'll scatter off. They're so hilarious. And then my favorite, and it hasn't happened for a while, but there was a squirrel during the summer that would eat my neighbor's sunflowers and just would sit there eating, and then all these seeds would fly off. It was just adorable. And then the squirrel would just lay flat on its stomach under the shady tree by us. It was so cute.
You
Just
get to
so
you
cute.
get to experience things that most people don't ever get to see, because I guess that is just y'all. It's the way you are. It's beautiful.
Oh, my mom, yesterday, she took a film of the deer that came down from the hill. She lives in Altadena. And these deers came down, and it was like a 5-minute video of just the deers grazing and then slowly walking down. And so she lives in an area where there was a lot of fire. And so she notices that these deers, who are usually a little healthier, look a little thinner than usual. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah, there's a lot of nature out here.
So, okay, I can give you a little deer tip because I've got a lot of experience around them. They love bird seed more than anything. Mixed bird seed, not just millet, but the millet with the little bluish black seeds that are big, and then all different stuff in there. It usually comes in a 20-pound bag, and it's really inexpensive at the hardware store. But the thing is if you're gonna put bird seed out for deer, you have to put little tiny piles far away from each other, so when the deer walk up, none of them eat from the same pile, because they will infect each other with mange if they eat from the same. If they see, in the wild, they don't share saliva, but if you put one big pile of bird seed, they will infect each other. So they love it, and if you want more deer, bird seed is the way, and little tiny piles about 20 feet apart, and oh yeah, you get to watch them munch out on the bird
That's
seed.
great.
Yeah.
That's great. I'll tell my mom. That's wonderful.
So we've got a lot of chatters that are asking questions right now. I'm going to ask you some of them. Somebody.
What are they asking?
Well, we can go through. We've even got a super chat, which I never got before yesterday. I literally got up and danced a jig because I got my first super chat ever, and I was so excited. I was like, I got a super chat. I danced. I'm quite the dancer. You should see me. I river dance. When I dance, I river dance and mosh. It's quite a spectacle I make of myself. But anyway, J Bone Omerta, who I believe lives in Australia, he said, "Hey Nay and hey Steph," on the super chat, and
Love it.
they are asking.
Hey, right back.
They're asking questions. They're political questions from Steve Running. They want you to enjoy your day. Zane Andrews, also from Australia.
We're going live today at probably around 4:30 with Mike McCrae. And so we'll do some phone calls with Mike McCrae.
I was going to ask you, you know, it's so funny. Oh my God, it's so crazy
Mike
that you
McCrae
mentioned.
is such a gifted.
You opened the floor up. I'm so glad. I didn't want to say anything because I wanted to make this about you completely. And I'm like, I don't want to ask Steph who she knows and blah, 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 blah. But I am like his biggest fan, you know, because the way he does those.
We love Mike. Mike is. What Mike does as an artist is at such a high level because it's a real craft, what he does. And it's beautiful, and there's such purity in his comedy that he actually transforms. So when sometimes they're improvising, that's why it's so great. That's why Jimmy loves it so much, because Wednesdays are the highlight for us. Wednesdays are like it's a real joyful for us to do Wednesdays with Mike. It's like, it's wonderful. He's great.
He's not only is he great. Did you see the video he made of the 3 ages of Harrison Fords having a conversation around the breakfast table? You saw that one? Oh, it's just. You know, and his writing is so great because what they're talking about, you know, the banter between the 3 of them, it's like a family.
He's great.
Oh,
we're so lucky.
Person.
And it happened because I think it was in 2011, Jimmy and Mike worked together. And then when we were doing the radio show on KPFK, when we first began to do it, you know, it was a different kind of rhythm to that radio show that has changed and transformed. But you know, Mike was very much a part of that, and so. Well,
what did he respond to an ad, or is they just were employed by the same boss, or how did they come together and meet?
Doing comedy, doing a show, doing either a show in Texas or on the road. They worked together, and Jimmy remembered being so impressed and said, you know, what's this guy up to? And so he reached out to him, and they started to work again together. You know, so before it was just like, you know, you go to a lot of different clubs when you tour, and you meet different, you know, middles or openers, and then from there, you know, your comedian friends, you know, grow, and you know what their styles are, and you know what their strengths are.
Like a big family, big comedy family.
Yes.
So, you know, when I hear him doing, okay, I'm going to tell you my Mike McCrae story. I just told it to my audience a day or two ago. I tuned into a Jimmy Dore, whether it was an upload or a live show, I can't remember. I think I was driving down the road, and I had my YouTube playing, you know, over my radio, and I'm listening to Jimmy Dore and Vince Vaughn having a conversation, and Vince Vaughn is being such a douchebag. And I'm like, you know, Vince Vaughn, I know his politics are probably different than mine, but Jesus, that guy is such a douchebag. And I listened, and I listened to that whole broadcast and thought it was freaking a Vince Vaughn. He fooled me. And wow.
Oh, his Vince Vaughn is off the chart.
I had to play one of them for my audience. You know, he gets into that flappy voice where he just starts talking like this, and he's just got it so good. And you're like, you know, you don't really hear Vince Vaughn talk like this, but if Vince Vaughn was this excited and he was this crazy, that's exactly what Vince Vaughn would sound like. You know, it's like he pushes it that far. What a genius the man is. I'm just so glad you brought him up. And everybody, you can follow him. You can follow him on Twitter. He's got some weird name. Yeah. I don't understand it, but it's Mike McRae. It's MACRAE. Follow him on Twitter, and he's amazing. He's an amazing guy. So anyhow, I was in the middle of asking you a question, and we got on this side. It is so funny. What I was going to say, Steph, was one of the audience members earlier today asked a question about you, and when they put in the chat, they said Steph, and it had 2 F's, and I said, I'm pretty sure it's 1. I said I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 1 F, and I found out, yeah, it is 1 F. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's 1 F, correct, in your name.
Oh, it's 1 F.
So,
but you know, like if you spell Steph with a PH, I know who you're talking about. If you spell Steph with 3 F's, fuck yeah. An extra F. I like it.
Oh, it doesn't bother you. So, but it's my question around that. It doesn't seem to bother you. I am sensitive around what people call me, my name. My sister, she's sensitive around her name. Were you ever at a point in your life when there was someone that used to use your name to perpetrate you, and it just used to really grate your nerves?
Well, you know, my name is Stephanie. And it's spelled Stefane, accent agu. And yes, I am a Latina with an agu. And people are like, where'd you get your name? Well, my sister, she's older. Her name is Desiree, accent agu. My dad's name is Renee, accent agu. And my mother's name is Kathy. So no agu for my mother.
My mom's name's Kathy. You know, I love that. It's just the way you said it. It was so normal, but it's, damn, that was a freaking punchline. I think you missed it. It's a really good punchline.
And you know, like when I would go and order like a coffee at Starbucks, you know, they never get my name right. It would never be spelled right. You know, it would be, you know, they never could get Stefan, Steven, you know, Mark. And I was like, they never get it right. Never. And so, you know, one day I went up to, you know, and they go, what's your name? And I was like, you know, I didn't want to go through it any longer. And I said, Susie. And I felt like this weight lift off my shoulders. I'm like, Susie, that could be a Susie. And I get my cup back and it said Susan.
Oh, they couldn't even get the wrong name. They couldn't even get the wrong name right.
Pretending to be. So, you know, and then, you know, when I would go, I would make it fun for myself because I was a high school teacher for over 20 years, and I would go get a coffee, you know, and sometimes I would say hot chick, you know, or skinny, and then they go, hot chick, your coffee's ready, and I was like, oh, hot
That's
chick,
awesome.
your coffee's ready.
Great idea.
And then I get my coffee, like, oh, right? You know, you got to make it fun for yourself. If they can't get your name right. A lot of times, people will call me Jennifer. I'm like, okay. Jennifer, it's great to see you. I'm like, all right.
Oh, just because they confuse, it's just a kind of they think Stephanie and Jennifer are kind of similar, and they just kind of confuse them in the right.
Yes. So, I don't know. You know, like, I was listening, I forget this young woman's name, and she kind of does the new age kind of meditation, you know, we're all this united consciousness.
Oh, sure.
And she talked about, why do we just get one name? Why is it that you could just be one name? Like, you have to commit to one name your whole life. Why is that? Why do you have to do that? And, you know, it makes sense. We conform to one name because it's easier to track your shit through finances and billing. We want just one name for you, right? And it's like, yeah, you know what? Why can't you, like, each decade or whenever you decide you become a new person, you know, who do you want to be? You know, like, I remember when I was a single woman, I'd go out and, you know, bars and meet guys. I'd make up names all the time. I loved Cha-Cha. I thought Cha-Cha was a great name. Yolanda. Yeah, I love that name.
It
My mom said
rolls
she
off the
always
tongue.
wanted to, name me Maria, and I was like, "That's that no."
You
Mom,
can
it's such a
always
beautiful
sing
name.
the
I'm
West
okay with
Side
that.
Story to that Maria. That's very musical
Oh yeah,
name.
oh yeah.
So there is
So
a
I'm okay with my name. I'm okay with.
well.
As a matter of fact,
Okay,
Jimmy calls me Nay.
you told me
He
that on the
calls me
last.
N-E accent to
I
go.
know, and I said we're both nays. I think it's beautiful that we're both nays. I love that. Let me ask you, when have you seen an advertisement? I think it might be on YouTube or it might run on television. I'm not sure, but it's for Etsy, and it's this girl. I believe she's Asian, and she has a name that's kind of hard for people to pronounce or to get. And in the commercial, she goes into a Starbucks and they put the wrong name on the cup. I totally thought of you. And that commercial it's so hilarious. At the end, she gets on Etsy and her mom for a gift gets her name in a gold necklace that she puts on. And it's just so touching and cute. And you're like, oh, now everybody's going to know her name. I'm going to ask you this question. I was going to ask you this later but since I just brought it up,
Bring it on.
I saw you interact with one of your audience members the other day. They had some really bad news that they shared in a super chat. You read it and you got emotional. I got emotional when you got emotional, okay? And you reached out to them in such a way that I don't usually see podcasters do. And I try to do that from time to time, and I know it can be a little tricky, it can get dangerous, and some people can try to take advantage. But when you really feel like you can do something for someone and you're able to do it, and I saw that in you, and I love that about you. That is something that is rare. How do you throttle that? Because you've got literally, you said it. You said, I'm gonna start reading these super chats, Jimmy. You said, but there's 10,000 of you, and it's gonna take me a while. So everybody just sit down. Remember? 10,000 people. How do you throttle it so you're not just giving yourself and and
Oh, well, I do remember, I believe it was Wavy Purple.
Oh my God, she even remembers the name. Yes, that was the name. Absolutely.
It was, gosh, I think it's so rare that people haven't experienced something overwhelming like needing money in a crisis and because of medical bills, and that you have to pay your deductible before you qualify for any. What an awful, awful thing. If you're really sick and you can't work, how do you get money to pay for your deductible? It's a crime against humanity what insurance companies are doing. And the idea that Dylan Radigan was on that day as well, and he said we have to help each other, and that's what's happening in the midst of this.
Help someone locally. Find a neighbor. Find someone nearby that you can help. I was watching. I heard Dylan Radigan say that. I repeated those words several times to my audience. You find someone, he said, because the government isn't gonna do it. This is the new reality. I'm gonna ask you about this. Keep going. I'm sorry to interrupt.
And it's all about the idea of community. And we have a community, and the community is the Jimmy Dore Show community and broader. Like Nay's Garden, that's a part of our community. Ron Placone and, Political Vigilante, a part of our community. The Gray Zone, a part of our, Kyle Kalinske, a part of our community. And we're just a bunch of people who decided to stick our chins out on behalf of the voiceless. And so when you have somebody that opens up on our show in a super chat in dire straits, it is overwhelming, and it's a real thing that's happening. And it's like there are brothers and sisters in the world seeking help. And I'm in a position where I can help people, as similar to the people that helped us. And so, there's so many things that we can do for our community And it just takes prioritizing that. And so nobody took advantage of that when I said, please contact me. Nobody took advantage of it.
It's nice.
It's
nice.
And I was able to get in contact with our fan.
Nice.
And that's
and I saw audience members super chatting for that person. Here's $50 for them. I saw donations going towards that person. You inspired that.
And because of how the super chat works, you can archive it or you can go back and look at it. And all those people that had donated money in the name of that person, it's easy to honor those charitable donations, and so I'm able to honor it. And it's all about one of my friends. She would pick a family every year in the holidays and help a family, and so these traditions have been carried on in our family. That we're able to help families through the year, and it is an honor to be able to help people. It's nice. I hope eventually that Medicare for all is provided. I can't imagine how somebody like Nancy Pelosi can go to sleep at night knowing that their children who are suffering living on the streets.
She drops a couple narcotics.
I just don't understand.
She drops a couple narcotics in her ice cream at night.
Well, also sociopaths can sleep. And to think that these elected officials don't have mental problems, like they're not narcissistic psychopaths or sociopaths. We're pretending that kind of personality. How many books? How many films? How many things do you have to see to know that people who are corrupt are corrupted in their spirit? Spiritually, they're corrupted. These people in, public office, hopefully there are some people that vibrate at a high level that they know what the purpose of their life is to help people. It looks like Ro Khanna has been moving forward with a bill that would help people. It's really interesting. We've had this whole conversation about Force the Vote, and Force the Vote has been very powerful. About 3 weeks ago, Jimmy Dore went on, did a live stream, spoke to his audience, sharing right now, each progressive in the House of Representatives, there's 100 people in the caucus of progressives in the House of Representatives, of 100 Democratic progressives that need to use their leverage now not to support the speakership of Nancy Pelosi unless she brings Medicare for all to a vote to the floor. And the reason is we want everybody on record. And if you haven't noticed, Nancy Pelosi, I believe, and Chuck Schumer, they are scrambling because people are uniting around this idea. And there's a movement around Force the Vote. And some people want to undercut it and go, and then what? Did you even think before? Then what? Well, I think we know how government works. There's 3 branches of government. And when we deal with the House of Representatives, it's called the House of Representatives. It is supposed to be the House of the people. And when you have, you can go to the Young Turks, and they have a poll, and now the poll is reaching 90% of people want Medicare for all. Their own audience is saying Medicare for all. Let's force this vote. And the purpose of this vote is to put people on record. And if you know, it's really interesting because a lot of people haven't done their homework, even contacting a professor of constitutional law to figure out how this works. And how it all works, everybody, is they all need to be on the record who they vote for House of Representatives speakership. They all need to be on the record. And everybody goes, well, what if let's say they do that. Let's say they get their leverage, and let's say Nancy Pelosi brings it to the floor. Maybe she'll just do a voice vote. Do it. Do a voice vote, and it doesn't pass. You don't think that's going to stir the masses? Okay, now. again, that will galvanize the movement even further. Okay, let's say it does move past the House of Representatives. Some people say, well, then people who don't really believe in it are now on record for voting for it, but then it doesn't pass in the Senate. Well, then one, we hold them accountable for their promise and their vote. Two, it goes to the Senate and House, the Republican senators and the Democratic senators. You don't think they're going to hear from their constituency too? You think Mitch McConnell won't bring it to the floor? You don't think that would galvanize a whole nother movement again? When one, before the pandemic, 70% of Americans, whether Republican or Democrat or Libertarian or Green Party or Socialist or whatever, 70% of Americans already wanted health care, Medicare for all. You don't think after a pandemic, when they're shuttering our businesses, how do you make a livelihood? How do you pay for your insurance? Your insurance is now attached to your employment. You don't think that number is affecting it? That number is blind to your political persuasions. Poverty is blind to if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican. So when people are in dire straits, and then they're going to do, what are they going to do when people are starting to be kicked out of their homes? What are they going to do about that? Do you think people will literally be on the streets because they've been kicked out of their homes?
Right.
You don't think that's not going to galvanize another movement?
Right.
So the momentum is there. And when people are saying, poo-pooing an idea and say, you're not making any sense, those are like those shitheads when you had to work on a group project and they were the naysayer that stuff couldn't get done. Well, go ahead and stuff can't get done. Go ahead and say that because you're outing yourself. You're not a progressive. You don't believe in progress, and you don't have the grit or stamina to stick your chin out when it really counts.
Let's play devil's advocate for 1 second. Steph, I want you to give me one good reason why the pushback from so many of our friends, people that I'll always consider a friend that have disagreed with Jimmy on this point. Why? Give me a good reason. What's a good reason? One good reason.
Oh, I think the best reason is because of his tone. That's the best reason why you don't support Medicare
Steph,
for
you know
all.
that's not the reason.
Jimmy Dore's tone
You know it's not
is
the
too
reason.
harsh,
That's
and
not a
his
good reason.
rhetoric is too truthful.
And it probably
he's
is the
posing
reason.
to elected officials, and he's yelling at a camera in his own studio. And yeah, I can see that's a real turnoff because people are dying in the street, and really you should only, reserve your rage.
You're
and your shitty tone
not
for
playing
sporting
devil's
events
advocate,
or award
Steph.
shows.
You're too pure to play devil's advocate. You are the enemy to this Medicare for all movement from Jimmy Dore. You and Jimmy are getting a divorce tomorrow. You can't stand him anymore. What's a good reason? And you're trying to convince somebody. What's a good point? Try to make one.
Okay, the good point would be Jimmy Dore and I.
Not Jimmy.
Have differences of opinion.
Attack the idea, not the people. Attack the idea.
Died, and I don't want to see my neighbors devastated by an illness that was misdiagnosed not for a week, not for a month, not for a year, but for 3 years or more.
Are you guys going to put up that video of Jimmy telling his medical story, or is that going to be reserved?
It's up. It's actually included in the
you guys need to see that.
Video that's up
Anybody
right
that
now.
questions Jimmy Dore's motives behind this, you guys need to hear him tell his story to you from the whole story. And I'm going to ask you something about that later. I love how passionate you are about all of this, and I agree with you on all of it. Devil's advocate, though, what I'm saying is...
the personal story that you're referencing right now...
Yes.
...is the video is Jimmy responds to AOC Gatekeeper, and it's a 28-minute video, and Jimmy will share his story about his own journey. And again, anybody who is saying this is a bad idea, I don't think they've ever been sick.
Devil's
I don't think they ever
advocate.
went bankrupt.
I want you to look at it from the other side. And listen, Steph, this is the reason I keep pushing you into this. Because I am looking at it right now from the other side, and I can't give you one goddamn good reason. I can't. I'm a pretty smart guy. And I can't even think of a good reason to push. I mean, you could say after listening, especially after listening to you guys argue the point, you could say, well, the vote's not going to pass. Or you could say, oh, it's going to lose favor from people. Or you could say anything. But then when you go back to Martin Luther King and you go back to, not doing it right now, and there's never a time, if you're not going to do it now, it's never going to get done. And there's so many great arguments for it. And you can't come up with it. And I know not all of those people are bought off, but they're wrong. So my question, and the reason I'm doing this is because I actually have a question around all of this. And my question is, to those people there's people out there I love have you seen any of them come back over the fence and support it? Like at first they were like, no, AOC is going to lose her job, or she's not going to get a position and be ultra powerful and be able to do more legislation, or have they been like, well, you know what? It is just a freaking vote. Has anybody done that? Has anybody come around?
I'm not sure. I bet you they have. They haven't personally contacted me. I have hope in humanity that when they're presented with truth and honesty, that they have the critical thinking skills to be able to delineate between a real experience and somebody who has been indoctrinated and propagandized to protect the power structure. So this is about power and oppression, and how do you control a population? Through poverty
and fear, right?
Yeah.
This is it's a perfect storm for the establishment right now, unfortunately.
Well, it is, and it's also a perfect storm for a perfect storm revolution.
I agree.
Because right now you're seeing that, and one of the things that the show, I just have to say that Medicare for All comes from a place of love. The Jimmy Dore show actually comes from a place of love for your country. The Jimmy Dore show comes from a place of, love for the ideas of democracy, not the execution of, how it's not working for all of us. So Medicare for All is a movement of love. And when Jimmy says, you know what, come along with us, all is forgiven, that's a big lift, because there have been a lot of bad faith players who want to undercut Jimmy because he thinks differently. He's outside of the lockstep mentality of mainstream media. And I think there has to come a place for something. I think the reason why Force the Vote is moving forward and has galvanized many people. And don't forget, we are not privy to what's going behind the doors, behind the locked doors right now. We don't know exactly, when they say, well, who's going to challenge Pelosi? You think right now, what's the date? You think on the 23rd, nobody's been rallying, nobody's talking, nobody's pushing forward somebody who actually could rival her? And when I hear people say that Nancy Pelosi, there's nobody, well, that's a problem if there's nobody. Because one, she's 80 years old. Two, we're in a pandemic. Three, do we know that she can't get COVID and be out? So to me, that even the progressives wouldn't already decide or make some sort of pact that's saying, what's going to happen if this old broad kicks the bucket? What would happen?
Right.
Oh, they haven't figured that out? Where's the end game? So I think you can always denigrate an idea by saying you haven't thought this through. I think you can always denigrate an idea by saying you're being childish. I don't think there's anything childish. I think actually it's a very grown up to call attention to the most important issue. I think it's very grown up and very mature to hold your elected officials accountable. They are public servants. And when you have congressmen and women who have garnered a great deal of wealth since being in Congress, you don't think that's a broken system? And so when you see somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez rise to such great notoriety and be one of the most influential voices, and she begins pushing back on an idea publicly that she campaigned on, I challenge that.
I challenge it too.
And everybody goes,
you could always...
oh, well, why the tone? Why the tone? You haven't seen the homelessness. You haven't seen the despair. You haven't seen businesses close down. You haven't gotten emails from your friends and family that they have to move. You know, I see people on Twitter that just said, rent's due, and I don't have the money. So you want a country to be civil when these representatives are going to go on Christmas break? I think, I forget the CNN reporter, I think it's Raju, R-A-J-U.
He
just tweeted out.
Right.
He tweeted out the calendar of Congress and how often they go on recess. It looks like they're in office a third of the time.
Right. Yeah.
So, if I were to make an argument against it, where you hear often, oh my God, what's going to happen to all the employees of the medical insurance industry?
Oh, that's a good one. There you go. There you go. They might have to get new jobs or plant gardens and start feeding themselves.
Well, one, they wouldn't have to worry. Well, we already know that people who work for Anthem, if you call Anthem and you speak to an operator, ask them if they're covered by their employer. Ask them. They're probably not. They're probably not getting health care, the people that answer those phones. So maybe they wouldn't have a job. They'll have health care, and then they get to pursue their dreams and direction of the life that they really want to pursue, because now they have the freedom to have health care, and their kids have health care. So, you know, nobody's worried about the essential workers right now. Nobody's worried about them and their families and the illness. Nobody seems to be worried about them.
Can I just pose an idea really quick, Steph?
Don't you think it's weird? Don't you think it's weird that not one progressive said, hey, there's some fat in this bill. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Rashid Tlaib and Tulsi Gabbard voted no. They did not support this last stimulus that just went to Donald Trump, who's going to veto it, because they said, I got a 5,002-page document to read, and I'm supposed to vote on it? And then Jimmy examined it, and you saw this crazy fat on it, you know, regarding money, millions, billions of dollars that they're giving to other countries.
Right, right.
What was the one that stood out yesterday? There was
a gender program in Afghanistan or something like that? Or they're going to count fish. They're going to count fish in the ocean.
No, it was the Dalai Lama, the reincarnation.
Oh, I missed that one.
Oh, there's money for the reincarnation Dalai Lama, something like that.
Wow.
I'm sure your viewers know it, you know.
Maybe.
I have to leave at 2 p.m. I have 9 minutes.
Goodness. Okay, well then let's get into it. Forget about all this other stuff. Listen to this.
Yeah,
this is the lightning round. Are you ready for your lightning round?
Yes, hold on, let me send one text. Text really quickly.
You tell Jimmy I love him. Tell Jimmy I love him.
Hold on. You say hi. I'm in the studio, please. Thanks. Okay.
All right,
I'm ready. Lightning round.
here it goes. Kamala Harris walks into a shoe store and they tell her they're out of her size in spikes, but they do have them in flats. In her voice, what would her reaction be?
Give me a sneaker. Jimmy Dore, will you say hi to Nave's Garden for me right now, JD? Lean down. Will you say hi to Nave's Garden?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Ben sends us the great stuff all the time that you love.
Oh, fantastic. Good to see you, pal. How's it going?
It's
Happy
so
holidays.
good to see you. We're huge fans of yours, and we want to just say thank you so much for what you're doing for Medicare for All, for forcing the vote. It means everything, and we know that your heart's in the right place. We love you.
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, there's a lot of cynical fucks out there who are trying to kneecap this moment because they have a personal beef with me. And that's, well, they're just revealing themselves, you know. This is about getting Medicare for all, and this is the only chance we've really had in my whole life to get this close to it. I think if it comes up for a vote, it'll definitely pass. I'd like to see them vote down healthcare for Americans in the middle of a deadly pandemic and a depression. No other country's doing this. So if that doesn't spark social unrest, nothing will. So if they're begging us. They're telling us to go eat cake right now. So that, you know, normal human beings revolt. And so it's time, you know, when they did this to George Washington, him and his friends they got guns and they started shooting people. So I'm not telling people to do that. I'm just telling people that we need to revolt against our government. We need to occupy their offices. We need to occupy their homes where they live. We need to occupy Washington. We need to make them afraid for their, just like Henry Kissinger was afraid the protesters and Nixon were afraid the protesters were going to break through the gates and come for them. That was Nixon's fear, that they're going to come for us. And that's where they need to be. They need to be afraid of us right now because they're literally, as a policy, decimating us right now. They're not giving us health care, and they're not giving us a UBI, and they're not giving us a paycheck when they're closing down a third of the economy. They're inflicting this on it's as if a hostile foreign power who is trying to inflict as much damage to us, it just took over our country. But it isn't. It's our own government. That's how corrupt they are. So when this happened in France, we know what they did. When it's happened before in the United States, George Washington picked up a gun and started shooting people. So it's happening to us right now. So it's time to everybody rise up and get rid of the fake lefties who are put on the left to stop moments like this, like Cenk Uygur, and they're doing it. Cenk Uygur is put on the left by Clinton donors to stop and delay a moment like this. And so that's why he's doing it. So don't listen to Cenk Uygur. He's making up one lie after another after another. He said that Kevin McCarthy will become speaker. No, he won't. That's a lie. He said it was a half-baked idea. Right after he said it was a great idea. Then he said we can't do it if we don't have another speaker lined up. That's not true. No matter who's the speaker, it's the same demand. You have to have a Medicare for all vote, or you don't become speaker. It's the same power. So again, this is a guy who's bought and paid for, who's gaslighting his own audience. 90%. They had a poll. He put a poll up on his own website. 90% of his own audience agrees with me and not with him. So I don't know who he thinks he's fooling, but he's not fooling anyone. And I think what he needs is another round of funding because he's such a bad businessman. His company's running on fumes right now. He's about to go out of business again, which is why he sends me 3 emails a week to asking poor people to give them money in a panic. Instead of trying to help people get health care in a recession and a pandemic, Cenk Uygur is squeezing them for money. That's who the fuck that guy is, and everybody sees it now. He's a phony, and he's trying to stop Medicare for all. He's not a progressive.
How does the
Jimmy
man,
Dore, ladies and gentlemen.
how does the
Jimmy
man
Dore.
use cannabis and not miss a beat like that? He's my hero. The man is my hero.
Well, I wanted to make sure that he was able to stop by today.
You are
And, as he's in the middle of prepping for the show, so it all worked out.
You're
Because he's really grateful
best.
for you being such a great friend of the show.
Aw.
And that Nays Garden has been so generous with us these past couple of years.
Aw.
And the triage oil. I saw that promo that you made recently as I was reading it out loud.
Yes.
There was something I think that you released, and I
Yes.
was like, oh, that was a good promo.
Oh, thank you. I did it with my cell phone. I just clipped it with my cell phone and popped it up on Twitter.
It was smart. It was
Yeah.
smart. It
Yeah.
was smart.
Oh man, I got the one. I wish the first one that Jimmy did. He actually he came out and he's like, "Hey man, I want to do an endorsement for this stuff," and he Literally, he just said so much wonderful stuff about it. And I could never get that one video. It was so long ago. I'm like, one day I'm going to have Jimmy do an endorsement for me. It's going to be good. And people will hear about it. It'll be cool.
Okay.
All right. So, are you ready for do you got time for, we've got 3 minutes. Do we got 3 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The Dems gave us Joe Biden. Will Trump be reelected in 2024 because of that?
Well, I don't have a definitive answer. I do know that, the point that why didn't any progressive scream louder than just two people about the fact? Like, did they feel like, oh, I better not say anything because people are in desperate straits right now? And I don't understand how we just don't get a COVID bill. I don't understand why I have to care about all the other countries right now. I go, why is that my business right now when my neighbors are struggling? I don't understand why we can't demand, just give us the COVID bailout for the people.
Right.
I don't want to hear about corporations. I don't want to hear about other countries. I get it.
Let me cut you off, Steph.
And you don't get to go home for to negotiate during Christmas time. You have to stay here and do it.
Let me cut you off for just a second. I have an idea for a bill that would say if you want to introduce a bill to Congress or whatever, it can only be one page. It can only be 4 or 5 paragraphs. That's it. And if it needs to be more, then you need to break it up. Just like they're breaking up the big companies, you got to break up your stupid bills because this, what was it? How many pages was it? 6,000? Some stupid.
What big companies are they breaking up?
No.
What big companies?
We're asking to break up Facebook and split up Amazon and everybody. You guys want to break up giant companies and corporations, and I understand that. Look at PG&E. They've murdered us. They've burned California to a crisp. The companies like that are dangerous, and they need to be throttled, somehow. But
today I do know there's an action. I think what was it? The Congress of the People. Oh, I forget the name of the group. They're doing an action outside of Jeff Bezos' home on 212 Fifth Avenue today. I think that's the address. But they're doing an action, which I'm very excited about for them, showing that, the workers, essential workers, do deserve healthy conditions. All right, what's your next question?
My next question is, are comedians funnier off camera?
Oh, some are. Some people who are funniest off camera aren't good on stage,
That's
some of the funniest
funny.
people, it's just like the stage does something to you.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, our friends are hilarious, and it's a very hey, you know what? It's like, for me, comedy nurtures me.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy nurtures my soul. And also singing nurtures my soul. And I like to be goofy and sing. And I did like the singer salon with my friend Karen Benjamin, who's a great voice teacher. We did it on Sunday. And I thought everybody on the singer salon was coming in with their Christmas songs. Like, this will be fun, a Christmas singer salon. I was the only one who sang a Christmas song. And I was like, why can't you all sing a Christmas song? I'm into Christmas. And I know you're going, what did Steph sing? I sang Santa Baby.
Oh, nice.
And I never knew Eartha Kitt wrote the lyrics to that song. Eartha Kitt wrote the lyrics.
Right?
She not only sang it, she wrote the lyrics. I love Eartha Kitt.
Oh, well, that's talent. Pure talent.
Nays Barton, I've got to go.
Do you do a Judge Janine Pirro impersonation?
I haven't, but I'll try. Judge Judy.
Judge Janine Pirro from
Janine.
Fox.
Oh, I'll have
from
to look
Fox.
At Janine.
She's just and
Well, here's my Neera Tanden impression.
Okay, because okay. I am Alex Jones, and I sit down in a restaurant, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just minding my own business, and I turn around, and who is it right behind me? It's Nancy Pelosi. What does Nancy Pelosi say to Alex Jones? I'm just trying to snort half a line of super male vitality.
And well, first off, I just want to say that I wouldn't mind a little snort myself. I was known as a little bit of a coke whore in the 80s in Frisco. So it was let's do this tonight, Alex. Come on. All right, ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen.
so much. Thank you so much. No one was more deserving of Jimmy Dore's spit than Alex Jones, as far as I'm concerned.
It was iced tea. It was iced tea.
I know.
Honestly,
It was refreshing.
You know, Alex Jones
It was
is
refreshing.
hilarious. Alex Jones is hilarious. Everybody knows it. And when he like crashed the set of TYT, he was saying funny things, and it was a spit take. He's genuinely funny.
Right.
All right,
right.
ladies and gents.
Thank
I will
you.
see you later.
Thank you so much, Steph. And we will. What time is Jimmy going live? Because we're gonna. Oh, you said 4 o'clock, right?
Probably about 4:30.
4:30.
Probably
Okay.
4:30 with Mike McRae.
We will see you. We love you guys. Take care and thank you, thank you, thank you. And please,
Adios.
please come back. Please come back.
I'll be back. I'll
Okay,
be back.
cool.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you, hon. Bye bye. All right. There we go. There we go. That was fun, wasn't it? She's so sweet. I'm so wound up right now. How long was that? An hour. Wow, man. Man. I felt like we got a lot in an hour, guys. This is why we love Jimmy. That's right. Right, Jasper. Let me go back. I'm all amped up. I can't believe I just had a conversation with fucking Jimmy Dore. And it went exactly like I said it was gonna go. That's the best part. I said, I'll have Jimmy Dore on. He's gonna come on. He's going to do his thing, and I'm just gonna sit there like this. Because he's not gonna let me get a word in, and I know it, and I'm okay with that. I just want to hear what he has to say, and I'm so proud of the fact that he's willing to appear on my show and talk to my audience. Oh, man, what? Did that just happen? What? Oh, man, oh my goodness gracious. What just happened? Oh my goodness gracious, man, I'm sitting here flipping my shit. I just had a conversation with Jimmy Dore like he's an old friend. Yeah, come on in the show, yeah, pop on in there. You and the wife, yeah, come on in. Give me it's freaking Jimmy Dore, oh my God. Oh, fanboy. I'm all like this. Did you guys see me? I was like, what am I doing, man? What am I doing? Oh my God, man. Let's get high up in this bitch. Who dropped my digits? Who dropped the digits on me today? Thank you for that super chat, J-Bone. Thank you for the super chat that you threw out there, buddy. I appreciate that. That was really nice of you. Okay, who's dropping digits? The first digit that I see on here is going to get it. Okay, Chris Meadows, I think we already did that. Nick Brown, I think we did that. Right? Claire Faust, we did that. Scott Benoit, we did not do you that yet. Claire, I think we got you, right? And now it's Scott? And if not Claire, then this is for Claire and Scott. How's that? Wait, Scott, that's a 5. That's the wrong digit. What am I thinking? You're probably not even here. Claire, and then Zane. Yeah, Zane. Claire, and then Zane. Hey, Robin. Cheers, guys. No law regarding cannabis. Wow. Look at that. Thank you for dropping those digits. I had so many more questions for Steph. Oh my God. I was worried I wasn't going to have enough. I was typing them out right before she got in. We only got through a few of them. Set up professional audio and audio setting. Professional audio. I don't know what that is. You guys doing good? Yes, yes. Is it? It says 26 people. Is that true? It's 26 people here. God, man, fucking Jimmy. Do you guys hear her call him in on her cell phone? She's like, "Could you? I'm in the studio. Could you come in and make an appearance or something like that, or come in and say hi, something like that?" And I'm like, okay, that's not what's gonna happen right now. I misunderstood it. Don't read into it. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I totally disregarded it out of my brain because that's the way my brain works, and I didn't want to disappoint myself. And he fucking walked in there, and I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Jimmy Dore. It's the man. Dude, I've watched him on stage doing stand-up and thought to myself, man, I would love to be at a live Jimmy Dore show watching him do stand-up. And I had a couple of opportunities. They came through San Francisco, and I should have gone, man, and I didn't. Boy, do I regret that now. Well, God bless America, man. To just see him come in and say hello like that, and then to give us the whole, it's amazing the way his mind works, man, that he can just do that. He has the ability to just say all of that without skipping a moment. I mean, he remembers it all, man. He's able to just process it and throw it out there and communicate so well. And it's all, and Steph does it really good too. And listening to Jimmy talk about it, it helps me too. It helps me remember all those points, and it shows me how valid each point really is, when you start thinking about it. And God, the people that are opposing them, I tried to get her to give me a good reason. I couldn't even come up with a good reason. Oh, so people in one industry are going to have a hard time finding work while the rest of everyone, including them, has healthcare free? Well, at least they'll have free healthcare, and they won't have to worry so much about a job. They'll have free healthcare. They'll feed them in the hospital when they're sick, when they're dying of hunger. Wow. That was fun. That was fun. No law regarding cannabis, Robin. That's correct. Thank you. I even shared on my personal accounts. Oh, I'm glad it's over. It's my blood pressure was up, I can feel it kind of lowering. I've taken 8 200 milligram Advils today. So 1,600 milligrams of Advil I've had. Wow, 105 is my lower, guys. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's going up. Well, but then again, I am pumped up from this show, so maybe it'll go down in an hour or two. If you're taking that much Advil, you better drink a lot of water. Really? Really, I gotta drink a lot of water? Well, thank you for looking out for me. Um, hey man, I wonder if my ECM arrived today. I can go check. I can go check and see if that's down there. That'll be cool. I think I'll go do that right now. I'm gonna go get in the Roxer with the dog. I'm gonna throw Rogan in the Roxer and go for a ride in the Roxer with Rogan. Like it wakes him up. I'm gonna go for a ride. Go for a ride with Rogan in the Roxer. I'm gonna throw him in the Roxer. We're definitely gonna go for a ride. I'm gonna go for a ride in the Roxer. I like to ride. You're welcome. Chill out. Can I tweet at Jimmy asking to come on for a full interview? Absolutely, absolutely, Nick. You can do that. Um, you know, what is ECM? It's an electronic control module for my Roxer. It controls the a lot of aspects of the running of the motor. Actually, everything. It won't even fire up without one. It's the main computer brain inside my vehicle. A lot of vehicles have them. I think my Escalade's got one. Whatever you want to call it. If you're diastolic is that high, it's being a nurse and having that knowledge. If you're diastolic, not good. Systolic. Rogan's laying in the sun. He got right in the sunbeam. You're my little ray of sunshine, Rogan. You know that? You're my little ray of sunshine. Oh, just the thing I needed right here. Look at that. On the way. You're so perfect and beautiful. You're so beautiful. Why are you so beautiful, Rogan? Karen says, Nay, I just wanted to let you know you're totally awesome. Thanks for everything you do. Aw, thanks, Karen. Thank you. I wonder how surprised some of the audience members are going to be that Jimmy Dore came in here. It's pretty cool. I kind of want to cut that and make a clip out of it. I hope I can find it. Jimmy Dore's appearance on our show, man. Wow. Wow. Wow, man. Wow. Yeah, I need to go do that. I need to go cut that out and make a video and put it up on YouTube. I'm out. Your bottom number is the most important, and if that's high, that's not good. You're like, yes, I know. I understand. Top number shows your anxiety. Yeah, top number is like 140. But yeah, Jimmy Dore just came in my podcast. I mean, that counts for something, right? For my blood pressure being high. Here, let's try it again. I'm sorry I make you mad sometimes. I need to learn to listen. Here. Ooh, good. 140 over 98. You know what? But the heart rate's at 79. I guess time of day is important for when you're doing blood pressure because it's got the time on there, right? Which is wrong. Here. Time. Holding down the time button. How you adjust it? The time. How you set the time? Whoa. What's that? I'm just trying to hold two buttons at the same time to see if anything happens. Oh, does it tell you how? Not on here. Huh. I don't know how to set the time. Do you take blood pressure medication? I'm supposed to. I haven't been taking it for the last few weeks. I don't like the side effects. So, I'm trying to eat less salt and, checking my blood pressure to see if it comes down under that, 100 range. And I thought it was coming down really good, and now it's gone back up again. Once again, the bottom number is so if it's over 90, not good. The bottom number is the bottom line. Right. Yeah. I'm at, what was I just at? 98. 140 over 98. Oh. Oh, you do it while it's off to adjust the time. I see. Uh-huh. All right, let's see. 19. Two. 19. What about 19? Says 2019. 12/5. It's 12/23, right? Okay, there we go. I got it right. I got my date and my time all set up. I'll see what times of day now my blood pressure is higher or lower. Drink a lot of water. Do you eat garlic? Really, eating a lot of garlic helped lower your blood pressure? And fish oil? I've got a new name for Steph. She's my fairy godmother. Thank you, fairy godmother. Stephanie. Stephanie. Yeah, Claire, you're not on my main channel. Probably on YouTube. Are you on my channel that's got 25,800 subscribers? That's the one I think that has the super chat activated, and maybe it's not that one actually. Maybe it's another one of my channels, and I'm confused. I don't even know. I know I activated on one of the channels, and I don't know which one it was. They sent me a message. They're like, you're available for super chat. Click here to turn it on. So I clicked, freaking turned it on. I can't remember, man. I'm sorry. I'm high most of the time I'm doing shit like that. Garlic pills, all natural to lower my blood pressure. You're on the one with 2,410 subscribers? Yeah, okay, that one's not the big one. So it's not that one. Go to YouTube, go to the search, type in Nays Garden at the top. And then once all of my channels, you got to scroll through, find every one of my channels. It'll say live. Make sure you subscribe to all 6 of them, but you'll see the one of me blowing a smoke ring is the main channel. Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to edit some video. I will see you guys later. Love y'all. Watch the YouTube channel, the big channel, for video uploads. That's where I'll be uploading all my edited videos. And I do have a lot of videos I'm going to start editing, guys. Big shout out and a thank you to Stef Zamorano. Stephanie Zamorano. Steph, we love you. We're not worthy. Thank you for asking Jimmy to come on, and thank you, Jimmy Dore, for making an appearance on this show. What a thrill it was to have you on. That's the very first thing I'm going to go edit. While we're here, we've got your attention. Check out the Jimmy Dore Show. Check out Ron Placone's show on YouTube. Check out Graham Elwood, the political vigilante, and everybody that Steph mentioned on YouTube. Check out Lee Camp on YouTube. Check out Tim Black on YouTube. Check out Secular Talk on YouTube, and so many others out there that you guys can go check out. And the website to sign the petition to force the vote for Medicare for All that Jimmy and Steph and I were all talking about is forcethevote.org. Please head over there. It's free. It takes just a minute. You put in your name, you put in your area code, and you put in your email address, and uncheck the things that say, we want to email you stuff. That's what I did. Sign it. It's easy, and we can use as much support on forcing that vote as possible. Forcing that vote as possible. So thank you again, guys. Love you all. And lastly, check out my buddy Ron Placone at ronplacone.com and lucyandron.com, and his YouTube channel is Ron Placone. And of course, you can always tweet him an article at Ron Placone, and he'll talk about it on his show. And you can subscribe to his channel. You can click all for notifications so you know when Ronnie goes live. And he's also on Facebook and Instagram at Ron Placone. And remember, at the ends of these shows, guys, the more people you get here, the bigger that number is, and the more people that type in hashtag keep it open, the higher chances of me actually staying and doing a longer show. It's just that, I got to rest my voice and eat, and I got to start editing out this Jimmy Dore video. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye, guys. Claire, thanks for the keep it open. There's one.